Hey everyone, welcome back to My Awakening, part of my transition. This one definitely has to be my favorite. I really wanted to deliver this perspective to you, and this is really important. When people ignore truly the human experience, I find that we set ourselves up to really have a very enjoyable experience here. I mean, have a look at history and have a bit of a look at where it's kind of brought us today. I think history is important. I think if we don't look at history, I tend to find that we live the same patterns over and over and over. And I think for me, that paradigm is now over. It's kind of like what happens when we just keep living the same patterns, we keep living the same repetitive thoughts. These thoughts are all recorded. It's part of a collective unconscious. Then we can't get out of it. And I just have a look at all of it and I just say, you're always being guided. I tend to find a lot of people forget that source is actually on your side, right? We have all these amazing guides, whether it be in the physical or not, to guide us along the way. However, it's our expectations of what these people are actually doing, because we want everything to ourselves. Like, we're actually very selfish people. We want everything to ourselves, but the main part of my awakening is realizing that we all have our individual parts here. There's enough space for everyone. I don't really understand these people who want to keep everything to themselves and not share their journeys with people, because that's true empathy, and not really understand that I see through all of that. If you're not willing to share, I say this: I don't want to be a part of a one-sided team where so many people are unable to really get vulnerable, in the sense that I need to be vulnerable at times. I need to do all of this. I need to start asking some questions that really spark and ignite movement. Because remember, especially if you're born on Australian soils, you don't want to be static of stale and pale environments. You don't want to be around that, because that's really going to affect you. And I feel this is so important because, and this is an important in my awakening, and having this in your awakening is understanding to ask the questions within and be guided within. It does not matter about other people's perception necessarily. It's about trusting who you are, making those mistakes, making the wrong receival of messages. If you've given a message back and you've interpreted it incorrectly, to love getting it wrong, because that will spark some sort of path for you anyway. Whether or not we're arriving before my time, and I think in the debate of my own life, I think I've been arrived before my time. Is that really possible? I'm not too sure. I'm still pondering it, and I'm working on it as a bit of a concept. Have I arrived before my time? I guess all generations have their issues, but I think there's a really, really big topic of conversation. Have I arrived before my time? Are people really ready for this? I tend to find it takes someone who's willing to go off the beaten track, just like the Indigenous do, get lost within it, and actually find a path, right? And it's that fear that we have of not being as the same as everybody else. However, if you want to do this work and you want to do my awakening, you've got to listen to source, right? And listen to guidance and listen to your inner guidance, because that is very important. And in the first phases of this development of this blog, I was talking to you a lot about integrity. Integrity acts as a compass, right? So if you set your integrity and your moral code, your values, it will streamline you to people who will give you and have the same values as you. They may not necessarily be the same, whether it's one, respect, two, integrity, whatever it is that they have in their values, but you will be aligned on the same path because they'll have awareness of all of this. So if I was to say to you, having awareness of all of this makes you very powerful in life. If they don't know something about values, then I say, what the hell is this? I want nothing to do with it, because you're wasting your time. there's one thing you've got to learn in life, in my awakening and my purpose work and understanding who you are, is not to waste your time, right? I have consistently in my younger years put time into people that did not deserve it. It's kind of like you've got a dead tree. The whole tree is dead from the root system to the top of the tree. There's no life on it whatsoever. And I keep watering it. It's gone. Why are you wasting time? Why are you wasting water? Put it on some of new seeds, of new growth. Why are you wasting your time? And that's the thing of thought and emotion. If we keep in the same, how can we get different outcomes? If we still keep trying to measure things and not just observe and expand and evolve and always stay in a state of not knowing, instead of it actually being proven, we keep getting the same outcomes. And I think that is a very big part of personal development. I think it's something unexplored, and I feel that a lot of people won't take it to the next level because they're too afraid. I think it's scary for them to take it into a place, but in the end, what are you fearing? I mean, there is no fear in life. False evidence appearing real. And I find that takes a long time to actually learn what fear does for us. So, I mean, this is a lot of concept to be delivering into, a video vlog on YouTube. I probably arrived before my time. But I say this, if you don't learn to look within, then you'll never know other people. And I guess that is the ultimate truth. You want to get to know people, well, get to know yourself first. Learn your flaws, learn your faults, learn what happens, and learn to forgive yourself as well, even when you make mistakes. I think that's the biggest truth to my awakening, is learning to see yourself in other people. That's very, very important. And it's important that they find that within themselves at their time. You can't make people see it. It's incredibly important for them to find. You can ask questions and help guide them, but I don't necessarily want to give them the answers, because it's up to them to find them. And I find that if you give the wrong answers anyway, they'll come back and blame you for it. So be very, very careful. Be very, very careful of falling into that trap. I know a lot of people do.